Hey guys, welcome back to my Flash episode review, my episode review of Crazy For You, the 12th episode of the first season of Flash, and this is a really, really good episode, and I constantly say that, but honestly, like, these episodes have been really entertaining, not just because, like, I'm a fan of the Flash, but because, it's not just about the action, it's not just about, like, seeing the Flash run around all the time, it's actually about, like, good storytelling, and I think that's why Flash is my second favorite TV show right now, well, other than Arrow. And week after week, I'm constantly reminded of why I like the show so much. And tonight was one of those episodes where the story itself was more the focus than just like the action shots and just seeing Barry as the Flash. Because overall, I think the show is better when they do focus on when they focus on characters and certain relationships and dynamics between characters, rather than just, oh, there's Barry running fast, oh, there's Barry fighting this mist villain, And I've been realizing lately in the last few episodes that even their villains haven't been terrible, because I think that's something that Arrow struggled with for a long time, and having their villain of the week a lot. And overall, other than the Mist, and even to the same extent, maybe Multiplex in the second episode, those weren't the best villains. But I think overall, now that the writers have a feel of what the show is and what it's going to be moving forward, they know how to handle these characters. And I think just in giving us a villain that isn't just some two-dimensional character, when we see the villain who they don't even really give her a name, and I forget her name, to be honest. I think even her character, I think the actress was good. That's one thing I liked about it, and even the character herself. Her power was cool and all. It was cool seeing that dynamic of her and her boyfriend throughout the entire episode, and doing all this stuff, and she ultimately she breaks him out because she's in love with him, and then at the end of it, she's even when he leaves her, essentially, she's after all that, I still love him, and because it's sad because I think a lot of us can relate to that kind of situation where, someone we love or someone we have feelings for leaves us or treats us badly, and yet we still can't help but have feelings for them. I think that's something we all kind of deal with at some point in our life. And I thought that was a cool aspect of it. So she wasn't getting, I don't think she was some two-dimensional character. And for me, that meant a lot. Because again, I hate when they just use the villain of the week, because that's something that they really overplayed on Smallville. And as much as I love the show, that was, again, one of their main things that I didn't really enjoy. I mean, unless it was a good episode, and kind of like this in tonight's episode. But to go into other things I liked about the episode, that first scene with Barry trying to save that couple from the car, and I think Barry is starting to feel more confident in himself now that he's able to be the Flash in public and have people see his face. And when he saves the couple and he's thank you, Flash, and you see that bit of kind of just that good that feeling that Barry's been kind of the feeling of I can't think of the word right now, but just seeing Barry kind of happy knowing that he's out here saving people, and I think that feeling of gratitude from people that Barry feels. Again, I can't think of the word right now, but he feels happy that he can do this now and be more open. People can see him, and I think that aspect of it, and just seeing the looks on people's faces when the danger is gone, now when they're safe, I think that reassurance in Barry makes him feel better. And I think that's why that opening scene really worked for me. And overall, there's a lot of good stuff in this episode. Especially the dynamics between a lot of the characters. A couple of characters didn't really come around a lot in this episode. Like Eddie and Wells, and even Joe wasn't. Well, Joe actually he had played a part in the episode, but he wasn't too major in more recent episodes. But the one thing I do like is the relationship, especially the friendship between Iris and Barry, because as much as we all love their friendship, I think a lot of us all just kind of want to see them in a relationship. The people who the West Allen shippers, the people who really want them to be a couple already. And while I'm kind of in that boat, I'm more on the boat of just keep Barry interesting. And while, I do like the idea of him being with Iris down the line, I still think it's good for them just to be friends, because, seeing their dynamic is no matter what, Barry's going to put her first, and if she needs help, of course, he's going to be there in a second to help her out, which in my own life, I do that with some people because I have this, I've had friends where I wanted to be more than a friend with them, and no matter what, I was out of my way to help them, and at the end of the day, like, I didn't even think they really wanted me, but I still did it because I cared for them. So I related with Barry on that aspect of it. It was kind of nice seeing him kind of go out there and experience kind of like just like going out and just going to the bar with Caitlin. I thought that was really nice, and I really like their chemistry in this episode. And I've talked in the past about why I think they should remain friends, but tonight, I'm not gonna lie, it was hard for me to just see them as friends because they have really great on-screen chemistry, and their characters both deserve to be happy. And I think Barry has been single long enough, so it's nice seeing this whole like Linda Park thing, which I don't know how I feel about like using the Linda Park character, considering she is a Wally West love interest. For those of you who don't know, Wally West is, well, in the comics, Iris's nephew who becomes the third Flash, and Linda Park is actually his fiance, wife, whatever in the comics. So the fact that they're using her as Barry's love interest is something I'm kind of on the fence about, so we'll see how that goes. But it's just nice seeing Barry with someone and kind of be happy for once, because he's always kind of been on the sideline, like letting other people be happy, trying to go out of his way to help other people, while at the same time he's not entirely happy because his dad's in prison and he's pining for this woman who doesn't even see him the same way. So yeah, it was nice seeing that. And then just his relationship with his dad throughout the episode. Again, the show needs more John Wesley ship, because, and the great thing about tonight's episode was that last scene with Barry and his dad when they're in the infirmary and they're talking about the Flash. He's like, "Oh, no, the Flash saved me that one time, and he saved Joe that one time." And if I had one thing to tell him, I'd say his dad would be really proud of him. Just seeing that Barry's a terrible liar. We all know that. And seeing them like trying to lie to his dad, I'm like, come on, dude, just like your dad. I feel like he already knows, which he implies that he already knows. And just seeing that's just like that deep father-son relationship that he carries out even through with Barry's dad being in prison. That never changed how Barry saw his father, because he always knew his father was innocent. So it's nice seeing that dynamic of Barry and Barry's father, because it just brings. This shows how much of a caring person Barry is, and see where he gets it from, because his dad is such a good guy, and obviously he doesn't deserve to be there. So just seeing their dynamic is really cool. And again, this episode really emphasized the relationships in the show of, Barry and Caitlin, Barry and his father, even to the same kind of extent Barry and Joe, because here's Joe, he's still, Joe's going out of his way for Barry to see his father, and like in the first scenes when they're investigating the guy who was teleported out of prison, and that second Barry sees his dad, and then when Iris sees him, she's like, "Oh, look what's happened! Like why are you so happy?" And it shows that Barry, just like when people go out of their way to help Barry, that's really nice and reassuring, because it shows that Barry's not the only one doing things for people, and see Joe, excuse me, who's also become like the father who is the other father. Excuse me, sorry, my stuttering's really bad right now. To see Joe, having that other, he being that other fatherly figure. Sorry, I'm really slurring my words tonight. Being that other fatherly figure. There we go. And just being there for Barry, that's really nice to see. Considering where they were in the pilot and seeing where they are now, it's nice seeing the progression of their relationship, and it's just showing that Joe really cares about Barry as his own son. And it's nice seeing the two different father figures in Barry's life care so much about him and doing what they can to help him and being there for them whatever way they can. And even seeing Barry's father go out of his way to help him even while he's in prison, and even though he gets stabbed, I think he can kind of show like he didn't think it mattered because it's worth it to help his son solve this case. And it's one of the great aspects of the show. And I keep saying that's one of the great aspects of the show because it's true. And seeing this show is really good with the characters' relationships. And even with Cisco, him, like throughout the episode, he's investigating what happened with Ronnie. And I just love that scene when Cisco kicked Hartley's ass and showing that Cisco has some pretty decent fighting skills. Like I didn't see that coming. I think even Cisco has progressed as a character from just being like the guy with the witty one-liners in the pilot. In all honesty, I didn't think Cisco was the best character initially, and I had my reservations about him as a character. But he's grown on me, and I'm starting to like him a lot. And now because they're not just using him just as the comic relief, now they're using him to help tell the story of these characters. and just to see like he's not just like some just geeky nerd, which he is, but seeing him be able to kick some ass, I thought that was pretty cool. And one of the things I liked too was Black Hawk Easter egg. If for those of you who also watch Arrow, who were watching season 1, there's the whole Black Hawk Squadron thing in season 1. It was nice seeing that little Easter egg with the armored truck earlier in the episode. That was pretty cool. It's just like little connections within the show that I find entertaining. Like last week with the Royal Flush Gang, and it's just nice seeing this episode just with all the relationships. Even when Barry and Caitlin were at that bar and when they're doing karaoke, and I knew at some point they were gonna bring they're gonna give Barry a chance to sing. For those of you who are fans of Grant Gustin from Glee and his ability to sing, and it was kind of cute for that. You know, I just thought it was funny because like I knew like where he's from. I never actually really watched much of Glee, so I wasn't really a fan of the show. But I knew that was a cute little thing for the Glee fans who followed Grant to this show. And going back to the bar thing, I thought that was really cute the way Linda gave Barry her number with the whole app thing. He just like boom, oh you got my number now. So whatever you do with it, you know, just I'm not gonna force you. Like I thought that was really cute. It's nice seeing Barry more than just as a friend, and not just with Linda, but with Caitlin too, because Caitlin, like, there's something there, and I don't know if that's something that the writers are going to pursue down the line. I honestly hope they don't, because they maintain such a good friendship, but it's really hard not to see that the chemistry between the two. I don't know if that's because the writers are forcing it on us, or because it's just naturally there, but I really do like their relationship as friends, even as like just throughout the whole episode, like Barry helping Caitlin home and getting her dressed, or helping her get undressed in a non-sexual way. But that was really nice. And just on that final scene with Gorilla Grodd, I'm honestly surprised that they're bringing that on the show because of it being a CW show. I didn't think they had, you know, like the budget to pull off something like that, you know. With Gorilla Grodd being such a, you know, like a physically demanding character, with him being, you know, a gorilla who talks, you know. That's something I feel like if there's obviously they can do it in the movie if they wanted. They can have the budget, use like, you know, the type of technology they did in the Planet of the Apes movies with like the motion capture. But it'll be interesting to see how they use the Gorilla Grodd character in the future, because I as a fan of the comics, I'm really looking forward to that. So yeah, and honestly, there's not a lot I found wrong in this episode. Maybe just the chick's boyfriend. He was just kind of like for me. But other than that, just nothing I can really find wrong right now. So I think that's gonna be it. Going off my notes, I listed everything that I really enjoyed. Again, it's a really, really solid episode. It's probably one of my favorites of the season. Not just because like of the action with the story, but just the character moments and the relationships between the characters and how the writers are progressing each character, even Barry to an extent, and how they like slowly been progressing his character just from being, you know, just this guy who woke up with these abilities now to actually being a hero and developing these relationships with the people of his life. It's really nice seeing that. And the bit at the end when Iris, you know, got the information from Barry, and I thought that was a cute scene too. But yeah, again, it's a really good episode, and that'll be it for me. I'm gonna call it a night. So until next time, guys, have a good one.